Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, I'm going to be explaining the Season 4 storyline for you in Stranger Things. I already explained the Season 1 storyline, Season 2, Season 3, all linked down below in the description. And now, all 4 of them are out, so if you want to have the entire storyline explained for you of Stranger Things, look in the description. All 4 are linked right there, or at least all 3 of them, and then the 4th one is right here. So, yeah, I just want to get all this out for you guys. Eventually, I'm going to combine all the videos that I've made and make it into one video down the line probably. But I appreciate all of the support, guys. And make sure to join my new Discord, drop a like on video, subscribe, and let's get right into it. Season 4 of Stranger Things opens up with a flashback of Dr. Brenner going through his normal morning routine. He then arrives at work and things start to go sideways. An alarm sounds and Dr. Brenner is knocked out. When he wakes up, he sees a young Eleven in the Rainbow Room with dead bodies surrounding her. He believes she is responsible for this. We are then sent to California where we see the Byers family and Eleven settling down in the new life in California. Here, we also meet Argyle, a friend of Jonathan's who takes Eleven and Will to school every day. At the school, Eleven is bullied by the other students. We are then sent to Hawkins where we catch up with the gang and we learn that Mike is going to visit Eleven and Will during spring break. We also learn that Eleven has constantly sent Mike notes since they left Hawkins. When they get to school, all the students attend the pep rally where we find out Lucas is on the basketball team. At the pep rally, we also meet Jason, who is this school's jock. He gives an uplifting speech and promises Hawkins that they will win the championship game. The championship game happens to be on the same night as Hellfire Club, which is Hawkins High School's D&D club. Dustin and Mike are frustrated with Lucas as he tells them to ask Eddie, Hellfire's leader, to move the club to another night. Meanwhile, back in Cali, Joyce receives a suspicious package from the Soviet Union with a Russian doll inside. We then go to Eleven at school where she's giving a presentation about her hero. For her presentation, she chose Hopper as her hero, but the other students make fun of her presentation. At Hawkins High, we see Max for the first time and she is clearly not doing well. She sees Chrissy walk out of the counselor's office crying, and when it is her time to go in, we learn about her hardships in life started after the battle at Starcourt. Lucas then tries to convince Max to come to his game after she walks out of the office, revealing clear tension between them. Max does not want anything to do with Lucas, so she goes to the bathroom. In the bathroom, she sees Chrissy having a breakdown and offers to help, but Chrissy denies. When she leaves, Chrissy has a vision of a bad memory with her mom. We are then sent to the cafeteria where we meet Eddie Munson, who, as mentioned before, is the leader of the Hellfire Club and has failed senior year multiple times. Dustin and Mike approach him about postponing the club, but he denies and tells them to find a new member to replace Lucas. Over at the Byers household in California, Joyce has called Murray to tell him about the package that she received. She discovers a crack in it and Murray tells her to break it open. While this is going on, we also learn about some problems with Nancy and Jonathan's relationship, as they have failed to find time with one another. We then catch up with Chrissy, who sees a clock in the woods. It is revealed that she wants to buy drugs from Eddie Munson to stop the visions and nightmares she's been having. Over at Eleven's school at lunch, Angela, the school bully, destroys her school project about Hopper. An angry Eleven tries to use her powers on Angela, but it is revealed that she is still without them after the battle at Starcourt. When Joyce breaks the doll open, she sees a note that tells her Hopper is still alive. At the Hellfire Club, we see that Dustin and Mike have recruited Lucas's sister, Erica, to play the game with them. As the club and the championship game go on simultaneously, Lucas scores the game-winning basket for them, and Erica rolls a 20 to win the D&D campaign. That night, Eddie and Chrissy go back to Eddie's trailer where he lives with his uncle. They were going there to get more drugs. While they were there, we are introduced to Vecna, who sends Chrissy into a trance and then he kills her. And while he killed her, a clock rang 4 different times. Episode 2 opens with a flashback to Joyce shutting down the Russian machines to open the gate to the Upside Down. In this flashback, we see Hopper escape his death as he survives the machine explosion. We then go to Max's house where the cops have gone to investigate Chrissy's death across the street. After that, we go to the airport where Mike reunites with Eleven and Will in California, but there is some awkwardness between Mike and Will. As the camera panned out, we also see Murray leaving the airport as he is about to visit Joyce about the Hopper note. Back in Hawkins, we see multiple characters watching the news as they talk about the dead high school student. We then see Max visit Dustin and she tells him about what happened the night before. She believes it could not have been Eddie that killed Chrissy and it may have something to do with the Upside Down. Back in the Hopper flashback, we see that he was captured by the Russian guards in the lair, and they took him back to Russia with them. In Russia, he was tortured and they tried to get answers out of him, but they were unsuccessful. After they couldn't get him to answer any of their questions, he is sent to a maximum security Russian prison. Back in Hawkins, the cops tell Jason Chrissy was buying drugs from Eddie and that she was the one who died. He does not believe them and he wants to track down Eddie immediately. Meanwhile, Nancy and Fred go to look at the crime scene hoping to get a story out of it, and while they are there, Fred has a Vecna vision. In Cali, 11 takes Mike and 11 to the roller skating place where she's confronted by Angela. Angela and her friends embarrass 11 in front of Mike and she is heartbroken. Back at the Byers household, Joyce calls the number from the note where she talks to Enzo. Enzo tells her she will exchange Hopper for money. We then see the military come to Hawkins to investigate Chrissy's death. They suspect 11 may be involved. At the family video in Hawkins, Robin, Max, Dustin, and Steve find out that Eddie may be hiding at Reefer Rick's house. Reefer Rick was Eddie's dealer. At Eddie's trailer, Nancy talks to Eddie's uncle who suspects Victor Creel may have done this. During this time, Fred has another Vecna vision in the woods. While Joyce was on the phone call with Enzo, Murray was listening and realizes that Enzo is a prison guard at the jail Hopper is in. At the roller skating place, an angry 11 uses a rollerblade to break Angela's nose. 11 then has flashbacks to Hawkins' lab. The Hawkins group goes to Reefer Rick's house where they find Eddie and he is struggling mentally after he saw Chrissy die in front of him. Back at Eddie's trailer, Fred has another Vecna vision, but this time he is killed after it. The 4 clock chimes happen again after his death. Moving on to episode 3, it begins with the military men arriving at Dr. Owen's house in Nevada. They search his house hoping to find 11's location inside. We then go to Jason and the basketball team who are still searching for Eddie. Lucas agrees to help them and hopes to fit in with the cool kids. In California that morning, the cops come and arrest 11 for hitting Angela with the rollerblade. We then see Enzo tell Hopper that Joyce is bringing the money to find his friend Yuri so that he can fly them home. In Eddie's house, a portal starts to open where Chrissy was killed, and then we see Vecna start to track Patrick, who is a member of the basketball team. The Hawkins team then splits up with Nancy and Robin going to the library to research Victor Creel, and Steve and the kids go to get the keys to the high school counselor's office. We then go back to California where Dr. Owen saves 11 from the police. Back at the library, Robin and Nancy find out that Vecna may have killed Victor Creel's family and Creel barely escaped. We then see Dr. Owens telling 11 that he can help her get her powers back, and she agrees to help save Hawkins. At Miss Kelly's office, the Hawkins group finds out that Vecna's victims had similar problems to what Max was experiencing. Max then hears Vecna's voice. At the Byers household, Dr. Owens' team explains the situation to the California team. Back at the Hawkins school, Max tells the group what she saw in her vision, and they run into Lucas. Lucas tells them that Jason is after Eddie. Meanwhile, Robert and Nancy are planning to go visit Victor Creel at the mental hospital he's in, while Steve stays with the kids. At the Wheeler house, Max writes notes for all of her friends in case that she dies. In Alaska, Joyce and Hopper meet up with Yuri, who counts the money they have brought in. At this time, Hopper starts to break out of the prison in Russia, where he is successful. While Max is giving out her notes, she has another Vecna vision, and she is told that it will all be over soon. Back at the Byers household, the military finds them and starts a shootout with the people guarding the house. Luckily, Argyle arrives at the house and helps them escape. Yuri calls Enzo to tell him that he has crossed him, and Enzo gets in trouble with the other guards. We also see Hopper get caught and brought back to prison, along with Joyce and Murray being passed out from the drugs. At the insane asylum, Robin and Nancy pose as college students who are able to talk to Victor Creel. We then see Max read her note to Billy at his grave, in which she apologizes for how she treated him when he was alive. While doing this, Max is possessed by Vecna and her time is up. While Max was getting Vecna, Nancy and Robin escape the asylum and figure out that Victor Creel used music to escape Vecna's curse. They're able to radio this to Dustin in time, and they put Max's headphones on her head and played Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. This allows Max to escape Vecna's grasp and just merely reach the opening to the real world, which eventually takes her out of Vecna's curse unharmed. Episode 5 opens with a man who was shot telling the Cali group about Nina before he dies. We then see 11 arrive at the underground bunker where she will get her powers back. It is then revealed that Papa is still alive. After Hopper is brought back to prison, we see him in a cell with Enzo, who was arrested for treason. The next morning back in Hawkins, Max drew what she saw while being cursed by Vecna. Nancy puts the drawings together and realizes it was the Creel house. We then see that Papa is sending 11 through her old memories in hopes that it will bring her powers back. She is greeted by a mysterious man in this memory. Meanwhile, Mike realizes that the pen that the guard gave him had a code which would lead them to Nina. At the prison, Hopper and Enzo start to connect over the hardships. The Hawkins group ventures out to the Creel house where they break in past the boarded doors. While they were there, Nancy and Steve start to reconnect with each other. Max and Lucas reconnect as well. Max then figures out that Vecna may have something to do with the flickering lights in the house. Back at the Nina project in the memories, 11 has a flashback to the moment we saw at the beginning of the season. She gets worried and leaves the tank. In the tapes, 11 starts to understand what she has to do. She has to work through her memories. In Nevada, the Cali group decides that they are going to Utah where Susie is in hopes that she can crack the Nina code. Back in Hawkins at the Creel house, they all see the same clock that Max seen in her visions. While Yuri is flying to Russia with Joyce and Murray, Murray is able to fight Yuri, but he ends up crashing the plane. That night, Jason's group finds Eddie at Reefer Rick's house. While they were chasing after him, Vecna kills Patrick. This furthers Jason's belief that Eddie is behind all of this. The episode then ends with Eleven trying to escape the bunker, and it shows a slight glimpse of her powers returning. She then takes Papa's hand as she trusts him to fully restore her powers. At the start of episode 6, after Patrick's death, Eddie is officially named the main suspect. We then go to the Callie group, who are now at Susie's house in Utah, and at this time we meet Susie's big crazy family. Back in Russia, Murray, Joyce, and Yuri set out to search for Hopper. At the prison, the inmates are fed a big feast so that they can prepare for their fight with the Demogorgon. Hopper fights with Enzo and one of the guards to get a lighter, as he knows the fire is the only way to defeat the Demogorgon. In Eleven's memories of the Nina Project, the mysterious man tells her that she is like One. But Eleven is skeptical, as Papa told her One does not exist. Back at Hawkins at the town hall meeting with the police, Jason interrupts and rallies the town together to hunt down Eddie. At Skull Rock, the Hawkins group finds Eddie. They realize that the surge of energy that took out their flashlights the night before was Vecna attacking Patrick. Dustin also realizes at this time that his compass was incorrect, and that they were near a gate to the Upside Down. At Susie's house, she is able to find out what the numbers mean and that they are a location. In Eleven's memories, she uses the mysterious man's advice, and she uses what angers her to make her powers stronger. She later then sees Papa punishing this man for telling Eleven that information, as he did not want her powers to be used for the wrong reasons. After this, in the memories, the older group of kids at the Hawkins lab embarrass and hurt Eleven. They told her they will kill her if she tells Papa about it. Back in Hawkins, they find the gate at the same spot Patrick was killed. Steve jumps into it. But once he reaches the Upside Down, he is attacked by the bats. Nancy, Robin, and Eddie reach Steve just in time to save him from the bats. They then see a flock of many more bats to come at them, and they start to run. At this time, the police were interrogating Dustin, Max, and Lucas after they were caught in the woods earlier that night. In Russia, we see Murray pose as Yuri, and he brings Joyce and Yuri to the Russian guards at the prison. We then see the group in the Upside Down head to the Wheeler's house, where they find out the Upside Down is stuck in the past, and it was stuck on the same day that Will was first captured. They then make contact with Dustin and Lucas through the lights. Back in Russia, the prisoners' battle with the Demogorgon begins, and Murray and Joyce are forced to watch it. In Eleven's memories, the mysterious man tells Eleven that Papa wants her for the wrong reasons, and he wants to escape the lab with Eleven because they are alike. Eleven then agrees to help him. In Russia, Murray reveals that he is not Yuri and tries to save Hopper from the pit. Joyce is able to get it open, allowing for Enzo and Hopper to get out of the pit safely. Hopper and Joyce then reunite and share a moment together. Back to Eleven's memories we go, where she removes a chip from the mysterious man's neck and reveals he has powers. He then shows Eleven his arm, revealing that he was number 1. When trying to leave the Upside Down, Nancy is captured by Vecna's curse. Vecna then shows Nancy his memories, and it is revealed that Vecna is Henry Creel. It is also revealed that Henry got his powers from the spiders in the Creel house, and he is the one who killed his own mother and sister. When he failed to kill his father, Papa took him in the lab and made him a lab rat. In Eleven's memories, Eleven refuses to go with One, and then she fights him. She is able to use her powers to send him to the Upside Down. Volume 1 ends with the number 1 being revealed on Vecna's arm. Volume 2 opens with Vecna showing Nancy his plan, and he wants her to tell Eleven what he is going to do at Hawkins. In Russia, Hopper finds that the Russians have multiple Demogorgons in the Mind Flayer. They then find a route to escape. When Eleven wakes up from her memories, she shows everyone in the bunker that her powers are back, and they're back stronger than ever. This is where Will tells Mike he is the heart of the friend group, and then he reveals the painting he was working on from the start of the season. Papa then tells Eleven that the gates Henry is opening will eventually merge together and create a much larger gate. Nancy then tells the Hawkins group about what Vecna showed her, and Max gives a plan. She will draw Vecna, and the rest of them will kill him in the Upside Down. They then go to the gun store and get prepared. While they are doing this, Eleven uses her powers to see what they are up to, and she realizes that they are heading into danger. She wants to go back to Hawkins and save them, but Papa says she is not ready. And then Dr. Owens interrupts and says she is ready if she says she's ready. Max believes that if she thinks of happy memories, it will steer Vecna away as he is focused on the bad. Meanwhile, in Nevada, Argyle finds a tire track that leads them to Eleven. The only problem is that the military found her first. Papa puts Eleven to sleep and stops Dr. Owens from letting her leave. After this, the military invades the bunker and they try to kill Eleven, but she uses her powers to take them out. After she takes out the military men, she is reunited with Mike and the Callie group. As Papa bleeds to his death, he wants Eleven to tell him that she knew he had good intentions. She ends up not saying those words and leaves him to die. The group then sets out for Hawkins. In Hawkins, the group splits into 2 smaller groups, one in the real world and one in the Upside Down. This leads us into the finale. The finale of Season 4 starts out in Yuri's warehouse in Russia, where he tries to sabotage the helicopter. Joyce and Hopper catch up and talk about the date they planned before Hopper was captured by the Russians. In Hawkins, Nancy, Robin, Steve, Eddie, and Dustin head into the Upside Down to prepare to take down Vecna. Eddie and Dustin stay at Eddie's trailer to distract the bats while Steve goes to the Creel house with Nancy and Robin. Out in Nevada, the group fails to get plane tickets to Hawkins, leaving them stranded with no way to help. However, Eleven has other plans. She wants to piggyback to Max from Nevada in a sensory deprivation tank. They now need to search for a bathtub and a lot of salt, which Argyle tells him he knows a place he can get it. Meanwhile in Hawkins, Max, Erica, and Lucas are in the Creel house above ground. Their job is to have Vecna curse Max, which will buy time for the group in the Upside Down to kill him. Joyce, Hopper, and Murray and the rest of the group realizes the kids are in danger in Russia, and they go back to the prison where they can actually help fight against the Upside Down from afar, as the Demogorgons are all connected to one source. Argyle brings the Cali group to the local Surfer Boy pizza shop where they empty the freezer and fill it with water and salt. Down in the Upside Down, Eddie and Dustin build a fort to protect themselves from the bats. Back in Russia, Hopper, Murray, and Joyce re-enter the prison while Enzo tries to convince Yuri to fix the helicopter by saying there is a bigger evil than Americans out there. Above ground in Hawkins, Max and Lucas continue to connect and set up a date at the movies once this is all over. Erica then signals to them to start the next phase of the plan. From the sensory deprivation tank, Eleven is able to go in her mind and see her memories. In the Upside Down, Eddie starts playing master puppets to distract the bats and get them away from the Creel house. He's able to draw them away from the house, and him and Dustin take shelter in the fort they made. Max hides from Vecna in her happy memories, which worked for some time, but eventually Vecna found her snowball memory. In the Creel house, Jason comes with a gun to confront Lucas. He is frightened by Max being possessed. Erica is also taken out by one of Jason's friends. While trying to maneuver through the Creel house in the Upside Down, Steve, Robin, and Nancy are taken captive by the tentacle-like arms on the floor of the house. In the Upside Down, the bats are eventually able to break through Dustin and Eddie's fort, and they are forced to flee. Dustin leaves the Upside Down, but Eddie tries to stay and draw more time for the rest of the group. Dustin pleads for him not to do this, but he does not listen. In the Creel house, Jason and Lucas start to fight. During that fight, Eleven stops Vecna from killing Max. Vecna gets back up and has a standoff with Eleven before they start to fight. In this fight, Vecna is too powerful for Eleven as he takes her captive to watch him kill Max. Eleven tries to talk him out of it by saying that Papa was the real villain, but Vecna believes he is only a normal man and cannot control the lab rats in Hawkins. He then tells Eleven that this is not Papa's fault and that it is hers. We then get a flashback of Vecna forming the Mind Flayer in the Upside Down, which is what he had drawn in his pictures as a kid. Eleven then realizes that Vecna is behind everything that happened in the past. He tells her that he's going to open a much larger gate that will cause Hawkins and the rest of the world to fall. He also says his job is already done and he just wants Eleven to watch him finish it. After that, we get a montage of our beloved heroes all in grave danger. Lucas is being choked out by Jason, the bats reach Eddie and start to eat his insides, Hopper is caught by the demo dog, and the three in the Creel house are being choked to death. Vecna slowly walks towards Max and is about to kill her. As Vecna starts to kill Max, Will tells Mike that he is the heart of the friend group, and Mike starts to give Eleven a heartfelt speech finally telling her that he loves her. This gives Eleven the courage to stop Vecna from fully killing Max. Hopper is able to escape the demo dog and brings it to the cell where Mary sets them on fire. This also frees Nancy, Steve, and Robin, because like I said, they are all connected. At this time, Hopper is now facing off with the last Demogorgon while Eleven faces Vecna. Eleven then tells Vecna that he is the one who lost, and from the roof of the Creel house, Nancy, Steve, and Robin set him on fire. Nancy then takes a shotgun and shoots him multiple times, causing him to fall out of the window. During this, Hopper is able to slay the Demogorgon with a sword, and Yuri and Enzo show up with the helicopter working. When Nancy, Steve, and Robin go to check outside the house, they find out that burnt Vecna is now gone. We then watch Eddie sadly pass away from losing too much blood. And he has an emotional goodbye with Dustin where he tells him it's finally his year to graduate. Lucas holds on to Max, who has broken all of her bones and is now blind. He tries to keep her alive, but Max dies. The 4 chimes then go off again and the 4 gates Vecna opened now connect together into one big gate. This kills Jason in the process. While still in Max's mind, Eleven is able to use her powers to somehow bring Max back to life. We then see the aftermath of the gates opening as the Cali group finally returns home. When they get back, all of the characters reunite at the Wheeler house. They then go to the hospital where they see Lucas, and they also see Max, who is in a coma. Eleven tries to go into Max's mind, but she does not find anything. At the school, Dustin finds Eddie's uncle and shares a moment with him. where he tells him that Eddie died a hero, protecting a town that didn't even care about him. The rest of the group go to Hopper's cabin, where they want to fix it up for Eleven for a hiding spot for her. While Eleven is sitting in her room, Hopper comes in and they share a special moment together. Will then gets the chilling feeling in his neck, and the upside down ash starts to fall from the sky. As they walk out of the woods to see what is happening, all of the flowers start to rot. They take one final look at Hawkins from above, realizing that this is the endgame. Reading that over again, I said the same thing with season 2, just gives me chills. I mean, that ending is literally phenomenal. There's not been a better finale that I've seen than that one right there. I mean, the sequences at the end with the running up the hill song and Eddie's concert, everything just coming together makes it a masterpiece. I do wish we would have seen a little bit more things, a little bit more detail in the season 4, episode 9 episode. I wish we would have seen more details happen, but other than that, I thought it was fantastic. Let me know what you guys thought about my whole entire explanation of the storyline with all 4 videos. And if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I appreciate all of the support, guys. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.